What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dana White goes off in interview. UFC CEO Dana White and combat sports media members have a rather rocky relationship going back quite some time. In addition to his feud with longtime MMA journalist Ariel Helwani, White has recently continued to call out those who question him and the success of his Power Slap League. The way he sees things, not only have combat sports media members been wrong about various matters related to MMA, they've also been dead wrong in regards to the success of Power Slap. During a recent appearance on the In Search of Excellence podcast, White went off on combat sports media members for more than one reason.
So all these guys who claim to be experts and claim to know, don't know jack about our business, okay? And all I think about is next year and the year after next year. And I'm thinking about we are so far from hitting the ceiling of what this thing is gonna be. It's like Power Slap. You know, everybody was on Power Slap. This thing's 14 months old. 14 months, still on it. I love it. Keep on it.
The haters.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened to the UFC. People can't wrap their head around the fact that this is the kind of hate UFC got in the old days. It's exactly the same. But these are the do nothing, know nothing media guys. When you talk about media, right? What have they done? What have they ever built? Who's ever depended on them for a paycheck? What are they an expert on? What the have they done that they consider themselves to be an expert on anything, ever, right?
The comments come on the heels of White releasing a video on April 20th, in which he compiled a series of clips and headlines from media members, influencers, and fans criticizing UFC 300 before the event took place. From the sounds of things, White has no plans of taking his foot off the gas in the future. Next up, let's take a look at Ilia Topuria reveals next UFC fight. Although Ilia Topuria emerged from his UFC 298 bout with Alexander Volkanovski unscathed, the featherweight champ currently does not have a date set for his first title defense. Of course, following a sensational UFC 300 performance, the expectation is that Topuria will defend his title against former champion Max Holloway. However, so far, nothing has been set in stone. While speaking in a recent interview with Sportskeeda MMA, the champ opened up on a number of possibilities, indicating fights between he and both Max Holloway and Conor McGregor are on his radar.
So I hope to defend the belt with Max Holloway, and then I want to fight with Conor McGregor, hopefully. If he wins his upcoming fight, that's the fight what I'm looking for. So hopefully it's going to happen. It's going to be the biggest fight in the MMA history, the biggest ticketing, the biggest pay-per-view, the biggest everything. We're gonna have like 80,000 people watching the fight in the arena.
You versus Conor in the Bernabeu?
Yeah, it's gonna be in the Bernabeu. Maybe in the future. Right now, I just see the Max Holloway fight, the Conor fight, and maybe with he keeps defending the belt and he keeps becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. Maybe one day we can see that fight too. But for the moment, for right now, he's not in my list.
As Topuria also indicated, the plan is for him and Max Holloway to compete in September. However, the big question is whether or not Holloway will in fact be ready to compete, as he explained in the previously mentioned interview with Sportskeeda MMA.
My target is to come back in September. So right now we are in the conversations. If Max Holloway is able to fight in September, we have a fight. If not, I don't know. Maybe we are going to the end of the year or something like that. Because I want to fight as soon as possible, because the next year I want to fight in Spain. So
with all eyes on Holloway and his camp, it seems to be only a matter of time before we have news from the UFC regarding Topuria's next bout. Next, let's take a look at Robert Whittaker praises Gilbert Burns for Khamzat fight. While Khamzat Chimaev has looked largely unbeatable throughout much of his MMA career, rattling off 13 straight victories, Robert Whittaker believes that the game plan implemented by Gilbert Burns in the pair's UFC 273 fight is one that he can use to hand Chimaev his first loss. Ahead of the pair's upcoming fight in Saudi Arabia, Whittaker spoke in an interview with Main Event TV to discuss the bout and why he will look to implement a game plan similar to the one used by Burns in 2022.
He took away his strength of striking, of grappling, and then put him in danger in a lot of situations with his striking. And if I'm going to, in my opinion, my striking is crisper and cleaner than Gilbert Burns's. I think my spacing lends itself to make landing those strikes easier, as well as defending the takedowns. I think the output is different because I'm going to be able to control the space the way I do.
Burns responded to a clip of Whittaker discussing his game plan, simply posting a series of eye emojis. Whether or not Whittaker is able to do what Burns and so many others before him couldn't and hand Chimaev his first professional loss, only time will tell. Next, let's take a look at UFC fight updates. On the heels of last weekend's UFC Fight Night Barboza vs. Murphy card, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with a change to the UFC 302 card on June 1st, with Andre Lima and Mitch Raposo now set to fight, after Nyamjargal Tumendemberel was forced off the card. Now, Lima will look to build on a win on his UFC debut back in March, and on the flip side, Raposo will look to make a successful UFC debut after coming up short on both The Ultimate Fighter and Dana White's Contender Series in 2021. The UFC Fight Night Saudi Arabia card on June 22nd has also undergone 2 changes, with Saeed Nurmagomedov out of his scheduled bout. As a result, Farid Basharat will now compete against Montel Jackson in a fight that will see Basharat look to extend his undefeated professional record, while on the flip side, Jackson looks to build on a 4-fight win streak. In addition, Sharabuddin Magomedov is also set to fight Jolton Luderbach on the card after Ihor Portieria withdrew from their scheduled bout. Last but certainly not least, reports have indicated that Oban Elliott and Preston Parsons are set to compete against each other at UFC 304 on July 27th. The bout will see Elliott look to build on a win in his UFC debut back in February, while on the flip side, Parsons will look to build on a win over Matthew Semmelsberger back in January. Next, let's take a look at Daniel Cormier leaks DMs with Michael Chandler. Ahead of Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler's scheduled UFC 303 fight, Iron Mike is extremely confident. So much so that he threw Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier and other media personalities into a group text to coordinate a victory celebration. As Cormier explained in a recent episode of Funky and the Champ, Chandler's assistant is planning to collect delivery addresses from the individuals included, so that when he defeats McGregor, everyone in on the text chain can celebrate with the same drink, regardless of where they are or whether they're in attendance.
I got a message, and it's a video of Mike, and I'm pretty sure it went out to a lot of people, and it said, "What's up, guys? See you at the top on June 20, whatever it is. I want you to have a drink with me. It's the Beat McGregor, whatever it is." And he said, "Put your address in this number, and I'm sending you out a mixture of drinks to make for when I knock out Conor McGregor."
So he knows I don't drink.
It's a list of ingredients that he's sending to your house to make sure that when he knocks out Conor, he wants Instagram videos of people drinking this drink back. It's a very creative thing.
Ahead of the fight, the MMA community seems to be largely split in regards to how they see things playing out. Currently on DraftKings Sportsbook, McGregor has a -112 favorite odds compared to Chandler's -108 odds, indicating that this fight is a pick'em. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at Brendan Schaub sends a warning to Jon Jones. While it's clear that heavyweight champion Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic will be fighting later in the year, many believe that Jones' status as heavyweight champion is contested until he unifies the heavyweight title in a fight with the interim champion. The way former UFC veteran Brendan Schaub sees things, Jones may be the heavyweight champ. However, he isn't the best heavyweight in the world. He broke down the situation on his Thick Boy show.
As of May 20th, 2024, I don't know if this current John is better than Tom Aspinall. I would love to see it, but instead you're giving me John Stipe. I don't want that. I ordered a Gordita Crunch from Taco Bell. You're giving me a chicken soft taco. Now I'll take the chicken soft taco. You know what I'm talking about. We love Taco Bell. It's our favorite. Now I'll eat that chicken soft taco. You know what? It'll do the job. It'll do the job. It still hits. It's not what I want. It's not what I want. Order Gordita Crunch. It's not what I want. I'll eat that chicken soft taco though. All right, $79.99. All right, I'll do it. I think straight up for the first time, I think the heavyweight division is scared of Tom Aspinall, and they're praying to God Curtis Blades gets it done.
In the meantime, Aspinall will look to defend the interim heavyweight title against Curtis Blades this summer. Although a win would not guarantee him a title unification fight with Jon Jones, it could put him in a position to be promoted to undisputed champion in the event that he emerges victorious, and Jones and Miocic both retire after their upcoming fight. Dustin Poirier reveals sad news in a new interview. He reveals that his time is coming in this sport, and if he loses to Islam Makhachev, it could be the last time we see Dustin compete in the UFC. Here's what Poirier had to say.
Man, I know it's coming. I can't do this forever. I'm 35 years old. This is my, I don't know how many 40th professional fight. I have a lot of amateur fights as well. You know, I have a family to be there for, and I can't love something so much that because every time I get in there, Saturday night, a piece of me is going to leave that I can never get back. And I've come to terms with that every time I step in there. And sometimes it's not that way, but 95% of the time it is that way. Just the way I fight and the kind of fights I get involved in. And I understand that, but I can't love something so much where it takes away from what's most important. Fighting is just something I do. Still, I feel like I've done everything in the sport, but wrap the undisputed title around my waist. You know, some of these longevity records and stuff are cool, like 30 fights, all that stuff. But being an undisputed champ is the reason I started fighting, and that still means a lot to me. But it's like over the last 5-6 years, getting so close, coming back down, getting so close, getting knocked back down, I've kind of put it out the way and just focus on one fight at a time. And like until Saturday, I can't like redline myself mentally thinking about title shots. You know, I just gotta get the job done first.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor takes shots at Islam Makhachev on Twitter. The UFC posted pictures and videos of Islam training for his UFC 302 fight, and Conor reacted by saying, "Read FC, cousin f***ers." Do you think Conor McGregor is going too far? Let us know down in the comments section below. Top comments. Bobby Green telling others to be humble is priceless. McGregor is slowly becoming your drunk Uncle Bob. I think it's funny everyone is overlooking Chandler. What happens if your boy loses? Topuria's ego must be hurting so bad right now.